Testing, can you all see my video? Or rather, can you see my slides?
Yep,
can. Okay, great. Thanks everybody for being punctual. So I will require everybody to scan in your attendance and subsequently later also to scan out. The reason for this is because we are going to have an actual public webinar. And this meeting is important for the sake of your family, yourself, and also your clients. And at the same time, we will also be sponsoring your clients for the LPA certification during the health screen days. So thanks for being early. So I'm just going to proceed with this webinar. Okay, so this is the poster which I've already sent to all of you. With us today, we have Ray. He's from White Coat. And we are going to talk about what exactly is LPA today. And the rationale for this session is we have to understand first before we can communicate to the client. And he will also run through some of the important logistics where all of us must know prior to launching our public webinar. So as you all know, Ray has been with White Coat for quite a fair bit of time, and he's not a stranger to us. We have also used White Coat for our health script for a few occasions already. So today, Ray will be talking about what is LPA and what is AMD, the benefits of LPA and AMD, and how to create an LPA and AMD. Okay, those of y'all who are who are late or maybe after this, later on, maybe around 3:15, I will get Ray to give me a little bit more, a bit of time to flash this this login QR code one more time. Is it okay, Ray?
Yes, yeah.
Can, right? Okay, can.
Thank you.
So with that, without further ado, I will now unshare my screen to let Ray share his screen.
All right. Thanks, Winnie. Let me share screen. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone can see my screen. Okay, my name is Ray from White Coat, one of the account manager. So I worked with some of you before in our health screenings. Typically, that's one of the part of the engagement that we do for AIA, because White Coat is the telemedicine provider, exclusive one for AIA. So today, what we going to share is plan ahead services. So not only we can actually, okay, let me just next. Yep. So what we do is, as Winnie mentioned, so we are doing a health screening. So it's an on-site health screening where you gather your clients as well as also their dependents, family members aged 21 and above. And in this session, what we can you can expect to have is also to have the LPA as well as AMD provided to your clients. That means to say we will get one of our certified doctors to be on site where they will be able to certify both the LPA and the AMD. So let me just share a little bit more for LPA AMD. For those that knows this a bit more information, but for those that is new to this, at the end of this, we will have some FAQs, and after that we can lead some questions. This is where I can help everyone understand more of what we can provide to your clients. Okay, first, LPA, lasting power of attorney. So is to appoint a trusted person to act on your behalf. So the trusted person is you yourself, you are the donor, and then you assign a donee to act on your behalf. And this, what is this for? So this is because if, let's say, for example, you lost your mental capacity. During the time when you lost your mental capacity, right, you are alive, you are unable to make decisions of things concerning your welfare, treatment, property, finance, insurance, or other matters. This is where the donee that you assign to have this power of attorney allows them to execute these things on your behalf. So it's concerning of more welfare, treatment, property matters. Property matters such as, in terms of, let's say, for example, the decision to buy and sell a house, finance matters. Let's say, for example, your insurance, maybe your stocks portfolio, your bank details, you want to get access. Because the person, right, although lost the mental capacity, but is still alive, they are unable to make the decision. So this is where you are able, because you assign this donee, the donee will act in the best interest for you. So this is activated and see in the bowl at the left side when you lose mental capacity and the ability to make decisions. So this will kickstart when this happens. And it's a legal document certified by our doctor or doctors that can certify this LPA, right? Second part, AMD, Advanced Medical Directive. So difference from the LPA, this is a singular decision. So it's a decision made by yourself ahead of time. It's just only have one standing. So this medical directive only have one clause. You see the second line, the choice to not undergo additional life prolonging treatment. Why this is so? So it's valid in the event of certified terminal illness and loss of consciousness. So because here's a scenario of the AMD. Example, at that situation, it's a certified terminal illness and loss of consciousness, right? Particularly maybe like, for example, family members, you know, probably your wife or your husband, your parents, or maybe your child, they have different interests. So they will be thinking like, you know, I want to continue prolonging this terminal illness treatment, or you loss of consciousness, you know, you want to like stop the treatment. But for you, if you already basically you make this decision as an advanced medical directive, right? You already in advance, you already tell the doctors, you tell it's a directive that is basically telling them that you will not undergo any of this additional life prolonging treatment. So that is a choice you made because you probably, let's say when you lost consciousness, you unable to make this, or terminal illness, you can't make this. So you make it in advance so that any of the other decisions made by your spouse, your loved ones, you know, they cannot interfere with this decision. And of course, this is again a legal document signed in the presence of the doctor, right? Okay, so LPA can be appointed mainly act in two main areas. So one is personal welfare, you know, living arrangements, medical care, daily care decisions. And the second one is property and affairs. So for example, again, assessing the donor's bank account to pay for his or her care, dealing with CPF matters, handling property and making investment. Because one to stress again for LPA wise, right? The thinking a lot of people will go through is that you know, there's a will, you know, there's a already like, for example, insurance, you know, there's even like CPF, basically the CPF clause lah, you know, the inter-estate planning. What is the difference? The key difference again, I would like to stress for the LP, lasting power attorney, is that the person is still alive but cannot make the mental decision, and the person is not in a sense pass on, because pass on, that is where the will activates. So this is what is a LPA meant for, a decision that if you lost mental capacity in some circumstances, the person that you appoint as donee or donees is the one that, you know, will make the decision. All right. Okay, so a little bit on the application guide that I walk everyone through. Okay, because later on, after just now the brief introduction of like understanding what is this LPA for, I would like to share a bit on the full process, right? So the full process is that the donor must be at least 21 years of sound mental capacity. So how to judge this? The doctor on the day itself, right, will, because they are the ones certified, they will basically just ask a simple few questions to ensure that you are of sound mental capacity, you are not coerced to do this, you know, this is a decision made by you, right? But it is very important to read and prepare why. This is for you as a advisor. When you advise your client they want to do LPA, you have to advise them to, you know, read the documents that we prepared for the LPA, because right, they have to discuss with the loved ones and read up on the LPA impact. Then they can choose the trusted person, donee, to make decision for you. I give you a scenario on this. This is commonly I share to some of the other clients lah. So for example, I have a daughter and a son, right? Okay, so my daughter and my son. Okay, usually for LPA, right, in Singapore context, right, they usually just want 95% of people will just appoint one person. The reason why they appoint one person is because if you appoint two person, right, before anything can take charge, right, both of them have to agree, right? It's the same as like, you know, in you go to the bank, they ask you sign jointly, sign singly. Sometimes they will decide to sign singly because then they get the access, okay? But why this is very important to discuss with the loved ones is because, example, my son is the elder son, and then my daughter is the second one lah, right? But I decided to put my daughter to be the one, right? If you didn't okay, you can apply, you can do this and then get the doctor certified, right? You can appoint the doctor, the second one. But the thing is, it will cause a lot of family conflict, because it's not discussed in the start. So because if, let's say for example, at the start you already discussed like, oh, why I want to have my daughter to have it, then in a way comes to some consensus lah. Then let them understand what you're going through. Or maybe it's like, okay, I get the elder son to be the one for this LPA to execute the decision on my behalf, and not you, daughter. Why? You explain in like that, right? It really will reduce a lot of friction. So it's actually the journey together. Then some is like, instead of putting their child, they decided to put their spouse, right? But some, they don't want to put the spouse. So it's really, really depend. But it will be quite good, right, that you discuss this with your loved ones, because all loved ones, they're all rooting for you. They all want you to have the best of what you can. And when really you lost the mental capacity, right, rather you want them to go and fight it out, to see how to do the property matters or the bank. You already had this decision. It's a lasting power. I assign to the donee. The donee act in the best interest of you and the family. Yeah, then no one can debate that lah, because already got this standing. But I still feel that it's best you have to discuss with the loved one, not suddenly they are caught unaware. Because if they know, at least, okay, like there's a reason why elder brother is the donee and not younger sister, even though both is also the best interest for you. Okay, so the next one is, after they read and apply this, read and prepare these documents, right? Next one, right, is to apply on this OpGo portal. So later I'll just show a little bit what's the OpGo portal. So OpGo portal is a very seamless process. It's actually online, right? You can just go online, search OpGo. OpGo stands for the Office of the Public Guardian. They do this LPA. They are the guardians for this. So they just, as a donor, you just have to, because we are applying for LPA Form 1, SingPass, you just go SingPass, and then you can start the process to appoint donee. So the very common question is like, there's Form 1, there's Form 2. Here's what we can do. Form 2 requires a lawyer. We are using doctors to certify, so we are doing Form 1. And what's the big difference? So the Form 2 is, example, just now you mentioned, if let's say, for example, you appoint donee, but sometimes you don't even have just one donee, you got like 2 or 3 donee, because probably, right, you want one of your donee to do like estate planning, like to go and sell the property. The other donee, the other son, you want him to go and do for like investments. The other daughter will be, in terms of the bank account, right? So all of this, right, you have to explain to a client that we only do the Form 1, which cannot do this kind of like the differential of the property. So that one requires a lawyer. And if the client asks, what's the difference here and there, is firstly that one's with lawyer, but of course the fees will not be the same lah. So for us today, the LPA, later I share with you the fee usually for LPA here is like, it's a $60. We get the doctors on site to certify for all. But if your client is the clientele that really needs this additional like Form 2, requires a lawyer, then this is not where we can provide lah. But you can maybe, if you got leads with lawyer, you can like advise them accordingly how to proceed. Okay, so I'm going to clarify what's the difference between LPA Form 1 and Form 2. Okay, so next, when
hello.
yes,
Ray, so I will flash the attendance code for them one more time. I
okay, I
guess
stop
some
share
of them
first.
might have questions already pertaining to Form 1, Form 2. So
Yes.
those of you who just appeared on this Zoom, I'm just going to flash one more time the QR. So please ensure that you log in your attendance. Otherwise, you will need to do makeup. If you have any questions, can you all please put it into the chat? Okay, so this is the login for today's attendance. SCs who are not here today, a makeup will be given to you so that you can still be adequately equipped with the knowledge for today's sharing, and also direct any questions for us before the actual public webinar. So I'm going to flash this code for another 10 more seconds. And in the meantime, those of you who have already clocked in, can you please put in all your questions into the chat group of the Zoom, okay, chat group of the Zoom, so that today we have Ray who's ready to answer any questions so that you can deal with your clients' queries better. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the attendance, I will now unshare screen to let Ray continue with the rest of the sharing. Thanks, Ray. Over to
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Winnie. Okay, so before we proceed, there's a question from Crystal lah. The question is, the appointed individual can be like a friend or have to be related? So the answer is actually the person can be anyone. It does not have to be, you know, a relative linked by blood, is family member. It can be, like you mentioned, it's like a friend. There's some scenarios that why people want to do that. So this one really also, my strongest suggestion is someone asked this, right, is you have to inform that client of yours that you have to really discuss with the individual, like really let them know, instead of just, you know, you apply the LPA, that means you log in SingPass, and then you fill out the detail, you put their details, and then they themselves, they will receive a notification to log in this OpGo with SingPass and accept. So rather than just tell them that, also let them like understand what is this for. And of course, the individual, let's say, for example, want to like give to other friend, maybe this decision can really consider to explain a bit to loved ones lah, because also you don't want a scenario where you never explain to the loved one. The loved one already thinking that, you know, all the decision, whether is it like a will, like insurance, like financial matters, should be me. But really explain. But of course, it's end of the day is really see scenario circumstances, because there's a situation that maybe the person don't want to share for some reason. But I think the most important thing still is that for the donor to explain to the donee, that's the most important. Let the donee know that, you know, I want you, appoint you as my donee for the lasting power of attorney. So in case anything happens when in terms of mental capacity I don't have already, you will act in my best behalf. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. So the second part is, so if there's no LPA, means no one can make any medical decision on the person's behalf. Okay, so the no LPA part means no one can make medical decision on the person's behalf. Okay, so clearly, I want to again stress, go back to the slides first before I answer this question, is that the LPA, right, is actually is for the concerning the welfare. It's not about the medical directive. Wait, let me just go back. Yes. So you can see for okay, so LPA wise, right, is for living arrangements, medical care, and daily. Okay. So in the scenario in your question is asking, like, if let's say there's no LPA, then of course I will say that the usual practice is that in terms of the family members, in terms of like, so maybe like the spouse or the parent will be the one like deciding in that lah. And that is actually that is why LP is actually quite important, because sometimes, right, when you lost a mental capacity, right, at the end of the day, this thing is for your own well-being. But the second thing that it acts upon is also thinking of the person around you, you know, what kind of conflict that they can happen if let's say they don't have this this arrangement done. I hope that answers your question. Okay. So any other questions before we go on? Okay. So Crystal, if clients do Form 1 certified by doctor, and if should have anything happen yet loved ones not convinced, I decided to get a lawyer to fight against the LPA. Okay, so for this question, I mean, it's a good question. Okay, but let's just break down first. So firstly, if do Form 1 certified by client and anything happen yet loved one not convinced. So this one, yes, this one have to, you know, seek legal advice. This one, this one is not pertaining our charge already. Yeah, which is why we still kind of stress that they do Form 1. There's a reason why a person want to appoint this person as a donee, right? And the doctor job is also to ensure that they are not under any like undue influence, and also not under any like it's their own singular decision lah. So if really that happens to the case, then yeah, have to go and look for legal advisors to help this.
Sorry, wait, I break down a little bit. I feel like my question not very clear. So if let's say we advise clients to do Form 1, so it's certified by a doctor. Instead of we get client to do Form 2, which is certified by a lawyer, should there be a day whereby the client is mentally incapable, and then the LPA appointed one comes out. And then the loved ones just feel that, oh no, this person shouldn't be the one deciding. And then they decided to get a lawyer to fight against everything to reverse the whole entire LPA.
Okay, so that's a great question, Crystal. So what I say is that this LPA is already withstanding, is already it will proceed. This LPA will proceed because at the point where they get this LPA, they appoint a donee and the donee accept, and then the donor go to the doctor to certify this LPA, which is later I share everything how the stats work. And the person after that turn mental capacity don't have already, then that will be withstanding lah. So if the family members want to fight on this one, it will be through the LPA, but I cannot advise in terms of the legal. Yeah.
Understand.
All I can advise is that if your client were to ask you about Form 1 and Form 2, which do happen, this is I go to the FAQ, I just show you this slide first. Okay. You can advise them here, right? 98% of the Singapore citizens who have made an LPA uses the LPA Form 1, right? So LPA Form 1 for donors who wish to grant donee general powers with basic restriction. So our white coat GP, right, will be on that day itself, will be the certificate insurer for the LPA Form 1. But for the donors, when they go into the OPGO portal, they decided, because in the OPGO portal, right, they can see Form 1, Form 2. They decided they want Form 2 because they want to grant the donee with customized powers. So the clauses in that LPA Form 2 will have to be drafted by a lawyer. So this one, there will be like, the lawyer fee. They need to discuss with their lawyer on the specific details before they as a donor, lock in, appoint their donee, right? So this one refers to a Singapore registered solicitor qualified to practice Singapore law in Singapore law practice. So I would like to answer again the end part where your question is that if this family member of them want to fight this thing, I cannot advise that, but they have to seek legal advice on how to proceed for this. Hope this answers your question. All right. Okay, so after this, right, I'll just go back to the part to continue on the processes so that can help you to advise this client of yours. Okay, so back to LPA. After they read and prepare, they understand just now with some examples, good questions that's listed from from agents such as yourself. It's important to read and prepare what this LPA is about, right? And then tell them to discuss with the loved ones to read up more on the LPA impact, because this LPA decision, right, it also on the day itself, right, sometimes we even need to prepare like tissue boxes and tissues for the clients, right? Because when everything thinks about this LPA thing, right, sometimes it will be a very is quite a strong emotional response lah. They will think of things. So one thing that I like to also share is like, okay, so for me, because my wife, right, in the past, before she worked as a HR, she was working at as a social worker. So she actually has encountered a lot of such situations in terms of this because the person doesn't have an LPA. So like one common scenario is that because there isn't any LPA, right, the people that came to her as the medical social worker, right, like was thinking like, how come all of this is decided not against the person's will, like in terms of like the planning of the finance, the estate, all this. So it's like, imagine it's like a spouse, right? The spouse of the of the husband, but the husband didn't apply all these things. Yeah, so it's very hard lah for this to justify, because with the LPA, it will be more easier. There's no need to fight that. You can get access and then settle. Because the whole idea of the LPA again, right, is because the person is not passed on, right? It's still alive. It's just cannot make the decision. But the LPA really, you can explain to your client that it acts on behalf. It's for yourself, it's to help yourselves. So in case you lost the mental capacity, right, then the decision can flow lah. Okay. So the process is later. So it's like they decided to do this. Okay, they read already. They apply on OPGO. If they select LPA Form 1, which is what we provide, then they will appoint their donee. So let's say it's one donee, they appoint that donee, let's say the spouse or maybe the child. Okay, the donee will receive a notification from their phone, and also like a message on their phone, SMS telling them that log into OpGo using SingPass. So they log in, then they will need to search below to find the acceptance. So they need to click accept. And with this acceptance, right, means that they are ready to do the certification. So just by donee send the request and then donor send the request and then the donee accept, right, is not complete until the actual day where this donee don't have to come down, but the donor, the person that appoint this donee, they just need to come down to attend the plan ahead service session, book a slot, bring down their photo ID and a registered mobile phone that has SingPass, and this will allow our white coat GP to certify the LPA and sign digitally. So the white coat GP will be there to talk to the donor to ensure that they are making this decision based on their own and they are of a mental sound mind, clear mind. Okay. Next, there's this advanced medical directive. So compared to the LPA, so I just share a little bit more what the AMD again is again a singular decision to explain that the choice to not undergo any additional life prolonging treatment. So this is in the event when the certified terminal illness or the loss of consciousness happen. So this decision already happened so that their family members do not need to argue the fact that should prolong or should keep, right? Continue or keep, because the person lost consciousness, the person cannot come up and tell them that this is what I want. So if you make this decision ahead of time, right? To some people, this is a benefit because this is really what they want. But then when I lost consciousness, I unable to tell anyone, but I already made ahead of time already. Okay. So the next for AMD, so AMD is also they book a slot, they come down right on the same day of the health screening. They have to be 21 years and of sound mental capacity. Again, best to discuss with loved ones about your decision of AMD also with LPA, and read up the AMD impact, and AMD application must be voluntary. Next, they do not need to pre-register. On the day of the health screening and the LPA plan ahead session, they attend the plan ahead services using and by booking. Later, I'll show you how to book. Okay, they just have to fill in AMD form. So we will prepare a hard copy physical AMD form in presence of an additional witness. So the additional witness usually is one of the white coat representative there lah. We were as a witness with the white coat GP sign the AMD with the person. Okay. And what we'll do is white coat on behalf of this, after the doctor signed this with the witness, we will send the completed AMD form to the registrar of advanced medical directive on the person's behalf. And then the registrar will after that send an acknowledgement that the directive has been received. So usually this could take about 3 to 7 days that the process. Also for us, once we we collate the forms on that day AMD, we batch and we send out. Okay, before I proceed, I see there's a question. Okay, sound mind means if a client is slightly mentally retarded, she cannot do AMD. I have a client whose sister is mentally slow. Okay, yeah, so because this one is not sound mind lah, and the thing is in terms of this, right, if let's say they go for the AMD, right, the doctor also have to be the one to assess. Yeah, so if let's say for example, right, would be even good that if there's any medical records or like medical documents certifying that there's a bit of a little bit mentally retardation, then yeah, then bring it up, let our doctor assess. But for this question, what I can do is also I can also take it offline, and I can basically check with our doctors to ask, is it able to do the AMD? Okay, I will check for you. Okay, so next part. Okay, next part. Okay, so before I go to the fees, right, I would like to share so nearing to the date of this webinar that is sharing with also the public clients as well as yourself, we would already prepare this like a registration link for everyone. So this is just an example link. So what is this for? So example, the screening happens somewhere, it could be like July, it could be August, right? September even. They will have this link, right? They need to go in and then select the time slot to do the screening, to do this, to book the plan ahead service session. So of course you can ignore this time slot. These are example, because usually for the health screening, it starts at 9 to about 11:30. So this will mimic that same time slot. So it will be from like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., about 4 hours lah. And each of the session is, you can see, break down to 20 minutes. So as per 20 minutes, right, we can actually do up to 3 slots per 20 minutes. So like 10, here you see not available, but it will actually show there's 3 slots. So your client can book one of the slot, and then they select the services in advance. Of course, it's good to let us know in advance, because this one is really a decision that you can't just make on the spot. So the person already read up, right? The donor read up, explain to the donee. And so the two things they do, one is they register at 10 a.m. Let's say they want to do both LP and AMD. They register at 10 a.m. Before that, they will have to go to OpGo portal, right? So just now we have been saying about the Office of the Public Guardian. Just to share a little bit, and where is this OpGo portal. So they will go here, either using their phone or their this computer, and then they click apply now, right? So they will just use SingPass to go in, right? So this site is very good, because when your clients, right, have other questions, there's also this full stretch of FAQ, right? So in terms of like, yeah, so in terms of LPA, they have some of these informations. But of course, for us today, right, those that attended this session, I would also send these slides with the FAQ, right, to guide. Okay. So basically this is the place. So you can see the process, read the important information, verify your own personal particulars as the donor, you apply your donee or donees, and then you visit the certificate insured, which is us White Coat. So between 3 and 4, right, so they already appoint donees, right, they have to ensure that the donee also accept, right? And then they also have they registered here, then they will come down. So when they come down, right, they have to already, as a donor, already appoint the donee accept. Why this is very important for your clients, you explain to them. Because firstly, this such a decision, right, is not supposed to be you decide on the spot, then you, on that day itself, you call the person, hey, the doctor's in front of me, I want to, I want you to go and log in to accept. Because it clearly means that the person have not explained to the donee yet what's going to happen. And also in terms of basically the time constraint, because as we see, the doctor at every 20 minutes, they can do about 3 clients, right? 10, 20, also 3 clients. So if one person, they go up, and then, they will come up to us, the counter, and then we will check lah. We will say, okay, as a donor, you already appoint your donee, then your donee accept. And then firstly, you also, at the end of the day, you also have the valid mobile phone with the White Code app, right? You also need to have SingPass. So with all this, right, then you can proceed to the doctor. If not, then we will not put the client through to the doctor lah. Because it will be follow quite a strict timeline, because every 20 minutes we only got for 3 slots. So one of the question would be that, if let's say, for example, I, as a guy, I appoint my wife as the donee, and likewise my wife appoint me as a donee, so we vice versa, something like that. So the question is, do you need to book basically 2 slots? So the answer is no. Just one person book 1 slot, but both me and my wife must do all the prerequisite. So I need to download the White Code app. I need to go to this portal. I book 1 slot 11:20. I need to go to the OpGo. I need to log in the SingPass. I need to appoint my donee, which is my wife. My wife need to accept, and vice versa. So all of this has to be done before the day of the LPA. Yes, so Winnie got a question. The donee need to present? No need, right? Yes, the donee don't need to be present. So to add on to this question again is that sometimes the donee don't need to present, right? What cause, because we see cases before, but we really want to try to minimize these cases for the sake of everyone's clients. The cases is that the donor actually go and appoint the donee, and then the donee actually didn't accept. So the donor really didn't know, then just come down to the session at the appointed time lah. But then we explained that we really cannot proceed because your donee has not accepted. So to some of the client, it's like, oh, very easy. I'm just going to call my donee and then get them to accept now. But the thing is, that might really not be what the donee want. Then the second thing is, sometimes the donee is overseas or uncontactable. Then this whole session, basically, we can't proceed. Yeah, so the best to ensure is that you can advise your client, look, you sign up LPA, just want to check in with you. That time you sign up, you read already, you want to go for this, yes. Can I just ensure, for the sake of a smooth process of the whole day, health screening as well as LPA, have your donee accepted, right? So if they don't know how is it accepted, right? Like basically what they will receive is like a message. And also when they log in of OpGo portal, the donor themselves, right, can see the process. They can see that the donee has accepted this. And the donee themselves will also know because they will they receive a notification. So that is important lah for both the donor and the donee sake. Okay, so next will be the cost. So just for the LPA service, understand that WFG might have plans, to basically sponsor LPA, but these are the costs. So is okay. So sorry for this cost, right? We need to edit because this one is actually if they do LPA plus AMD, right, is $80. Okay, so 60 for LPA, AMD for 40. But if the person do both, if there will be a discount. So it's instead of $80, it will be, sorry, instead of $100, it will be $80. So this one just take away. Another thing, there's this government application fee. So if your client is a Singapore citizen, right? So actually, Singapore government, right, has this push this initiative until 2026. They are really encouraging Singaporeans, right, to take up this LPA service. So this one we're not talking about AMD, we are talking fully on this LPA. So by right, White Code, the certification fee is that we will charge your client $60. But then the government to apply through this OpGo, there's supposed to be $70. But right now, as of now, it's all waived. So basically, they don't need to pay this $70. However, if let's say your client is a PR or foreigner residing in Singapore, then yes, then they will pay the $90 lah, plus the $60. I hope that answers. So this one we have to remove this. But don't worry, this will be shown in the in the slides that we share. Okay, so steps to obtain the LPA and AMD again. Pre-registration. So we provide a booking link, and also we provide additional information, reading materials. So what we will provide to WFG is that you will have like the pre-registration link, which is this link, right? We will give this. We will also have some details on what is the LPA, what's AMD. Second, on actual day, when employees attend the on-site plan ahead service for signing and certifying their LPA and AMD, so they will attend this and they will get it certified. So upon approval of the submitted document, employees will receive acknowledgement of a valid LPA and AMD, subject to the different timing. So the LPA, the process is quite fast. The doctors certify on their end, right? Then after probably 1-2 days, right? They log in of Go is already certified. For AMD is mentioned because it's a physical hard copy document. We have to send this document back to the Registrar of Advanced Medical Directive for them to certify this. Then they will receive like a letter telling them that, oh, your AMD is approved. Okay. So this one is very important because this part, like, we will receive all the steps, right? We put it here. It's a one for all because definitely your client have questions. And then you as an agent have questions also. So first, easy is like they can go here. Like you can guide them all this to go in and then basically see this what the read and understand what the LPA impacts. And then there's also like useful links also to go through. And of course, this is the OpCo. Okay. But to make it easy, we will all put the condensed information. So for example, in terms of the LPA application with OpGo, we will provide this to link up so that they can basically straight away go here to apply the LPA. Or they can send a QR code. Okay, so that's what we have covered. Then yeah, they will see this, apply now. And AMD application is mostly is the README, right? So they will go to this site to basically read up what this AMD is, the understanding and how it impacts. Then on that day itself, then they will receive the AMD form and then it's signed in the presence of our witness as well as the doctor. They will accept this advanced medical directive. Okay, so I think before we go into the FAQ, right? Yes, okay, I will see the questions. Okay, so first one, Winnie. The slides did not show the doctor certificate. Okay, so the slide didn't show the doctor certificate. So actually, right, there is a $400 fee, right? So what we'll do is because now it's internal WFG, right? Actually, there's a $400 fee lah. We will charge to for yours is not company, yours is organization. So we will charge to WFG. So it's $400. Okay. I hope that answers. The next one is LPA and AMD can be reversed. So yes, this one is a part of the FAQ. So let's just jump right to that first. Okay. Okay, sorry, I don't have this in the FAQ, but the thing is for LPA, it can be reversed. So how to reverse? So LPA reverse, right, is that the person, the donor, after going through appoint the donee, then the doctor has already certified and the LPA is enforced. They just need to go back to the OPGO portal and then there's the section for them to revoke. So for more information, right, can go over. So the process you can explain to your client, it's not going to be very tedious. It's a very straight through process. So that leads to the next question. So in terms of AMD, an AMD can be revoked at any time in the presence of at least one witness. So you should do so by completing AMD Form 3, which is a standard form for the revocation. So these forms can be found online, AMD. So they need to fill up this. Then because presence of one witness also have to fill that up to confirm that for the revocation. And then this after that is submit back to the registrar. So both LPA and AMD can be revoked. Okay. Okay. So Winnie has mentioned that actually WFG is going to sponsor the 400 doctors fees. So yeah, because in terms of this certification fee, because just for the purpose of the deck, we want to explain to all that in terms of we have this fee, but maybe basically organization want to do it internally. So we only explain the part in terms of the LPA, how much, $60, and then the AMD is $40. If combined, then it's $80. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to go through a little bit, for the courtesy of time, I'll just go through a bit more on the FAQ. But if you've got any question, please also just let me know. Okay. So just now we mentioned about the LPA Form 1 and Form 2. Just now we go through about this already. Then the next part would be, why do I need a SingPass mobile app to make an LPA? So the reason why is because you need a SingPass app to digitally sign on your LPA during your visit to the LPA certified insurer, which is white code. So that's why we need the SingPass, because when the doctor is there to certify, right, they need you have access to SingPass, then you can. Okay, so yeah, so that's just a need. You need to tell the client that SingPass mobile app is required. That means they have to have a valid mobile phone. The mobile phone have to be working, because sometimes we have a bit of the some of the older clients might not be that tech savvy. You have to guide them. You have to explain to them that for this whole LPA process has to have SingPass mobile app Singapore registered number. Okay. Next, how can I get a copy of the registered LPA? So after your LPA has been registered, you and your donees can retrieve it at any time by logging into the Office of the Public Guardian, the OPCO website with the SingPass. But of course, if you would like to keep a printed copy of your LPA for personal reference, then you can print out the PDF after downloading from OPGO. However, the printed copy will be watermarked and cannot be used for transaction. Okay, so this is where your client can receive the LPA. Can I submit a hard copy LPA application? So this one, definitely some of the clients, they want to ask. So the answer is that all LPA applications should be submitted online. Because if you're uncomfortable with technology and need help completing the LPA application online, right? So the suggestion is like, if really your client is like that, you can ask them, right, basically to visit the Citizen Connect Center or Service SG Center to contact the Office of Public Guardian. So for this one, right, for White Coat as a representative, we're talking about LPAs, we actually also utilize this. So this service is really good. They really help the client explain to them, anything that any clause. Because as I understand for you, agent, busy time, you got a lot of things to manage, right? Rather than the questions back and forth, right? You can explain to them that actually there's this help lah. But the main thing is like today, just want to share this thing, like why LPA impacts is like you just now you heard all the examples, is that LPA is really I would say is quite a very good tool, right? To really help you when really you lost your mental capacity and you still need basically your welfare to be run smoothly. So as long as you basically your client really get the idea, so all of these other questions, right, actually they firstly, because we will give the details of the README, they can read. Secondly, they can actually contact the OPGO contact center to clarify, what are the questions that they are facing. So but back to this part, the submit hard copy, no, it has to be submitted online. Okay. Next is an LPA recognized internationally. So LPA is only recognized within Singapore. So if you have, let's say, got assets abroad, they might consider making an LPA in or its equivalent in the jurisdiction in that particular country. So meaning to say, to summarize this, is that if let's say anything to do overseas, right, they will get their equivalent or the LPA there. But this LPA, when your client asks, you say is for the Singapore jurisdiction. Okay. Another question. So now we talk about AMD. So when will an AMD be enforced? Right. So this question is a very common one because just now we say it's a singular decision. So to not prolong the basically your life lah, when you reach, let's say, terminal illness. Okay, so an AMD is valid after you have completed registration after the registrar of advanced medical directive. So the registrar come back to you and say that your AMD is approved. So the AMD will only come in effect once you are determined to have terminal illness. So how is this determined by? So it's determined by when it's certified by 3 doctors. So 3 doctors, one is like the practicing, and 2 other doctors, it can be the specialists. So including the attending hospital doctor and 2 specialists. So once this doctor certify that you got terminal illness, and then the 2 other specialists also certify this, and you have a valid AMD, this is kick in effect. Yeah, so this is quite an important thing because it's not just going to be like, just the hospital, certify that. It's already a hospital doctor plus the 2 specialists certify that you are terminal illness, then that's where the AMD enforce. Hope that can clarify some of your clients' potential questions. So about the revoking of AMD, just now we went through. Okay, so with that, right, I've actually come to the end of the session. I just want to maybe check in with everyone. Is there any questions that you might have? Any other questions besides some of the questions that was brought up earlier?
Ray, maybe you unshare your screen first. We look at everybody's faces.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Okay, maybe I'll start with the first question first. You said that we need to get 3 doctors to certify a terminal illness. Generally, when a person is terminally ill, is it easy to get 3 doctors to certify?
Okay, that's a good question. So what we mean by is like, firstly, when you got terminal illness, right, you go to see doctor, right, is your attending hospital doctor. And usually for such case, right, it's not 3 doctors, but it's the 1 hospital doctor and already 2 specialists. So this hospital doctor plus 2 specialists already basically certified that you have a terminal illness. That's where this AMD came in fact lah. Yeah, so it's not like 3 different doctor, different, but basically it's the doctor plus the specialist already make the statement that, that you are determined to have the terminal illness.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think there's some questions in the chat. Can AMD be challenged when enforced?
Okay, so the answer to that, no, because this is a standalone like instruction that you give ahead of time. So this one cannot be challenged because everyone has the right to make this decision, the AMD. Yeah, so to answer that, yeah, so you can just tell the client this one can't be challenged when enforced. Already set, but of course can revoke before you get a terminal illness lah. Maybe later on you change your mind, you don't want this.
Okay, another question is on the day of our LPA event, which is a health screening, is it mainly to certify the mental capacity?
Yes, so it's mainly to certify the mental capacity. Because okay, this question quite good that was brought up, because there's a lot of people think that if everything can be done online, like let's say for example, we're saying LPA, donor login SingPass, don't need accept, then why cannot the doctor access? So currently in terms of the doctor, basically the rules enforcing LPA here in Singapore, we still need the doctor to assess the mental capacity. That's why I have to come down. Yeah, so that's why that this event is to yeah, they need to come down lah.
Okay, understand. Any other questions from the ground?
Okay.
Is there a maximum age for LPA to be done? Let's say we have aged grandparents. Yeah, is there a maximum age?
There's
and
no
what if
maximum
they
age.
have a bit of forgetfulness? Will they be under the not so mentally sound?
Okay, so there's no maximum age, right? But in terms of the like forgetful or maybe sometimes even like dementia, this kind, right? This one actually is counted as like they are not of the sound mental capacity. But basically, I will still need to get back to you in terms of the question. Like for example, clients slightly mentally retarded, can they do the MD? Or in terms of the for example, like a bit slow, or a bit forgetful. So actually the right way is like the doctor assess, right? Then they will not actually take any chance lah, any risk lah. They will not take any risk. They will, because they will ask some of their questions to them. And if the doctor based on site, right, was unable to certify that they are really mentally well, because they ask them some questions and really they cannot, then this will not continue. The application will not move through. It will just start at the point where the donor gets the donee. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the rest of you all? Okay, if there is no more questions, Ray, you stay online first.
Yep.
The rest of you, please continue to type in the chat group while I will now share screen. Okay, so what will happen is this. Just now, Ray mentioned about sharing slides. The slides will only be shared with the attending FSCs today. Those who are not here today, you will not get the slides. And please do not distribute the slides to any external party. It is more for your own information only. Okay. Now, a few things to take note, important notice. Just now I mentioned, which I want to repeat, this LPA activity and event came out on the request of FCs who feel the importance of providing this added service to our clients. We need to get everybody to be aligned that this is very important for all of us to understand that it is an added service to our clients. Okay, so you need to understand this very well, as though you are selling a product. Okay, you are now selling a service, and this service actually will allow you to position yourself better as a value-added service to help our clients during the end days. Following this, there'll be a public webinar with repeat broadcast, and we will be doing another poster for you all to blast out to your clients. So when you blast out to your clients, ensure that you also know what is happening in case they have some questions for you. But end of the day, we still do have a committee that's doing this. So you can still direct the questions to our committee members. Okay. That will be one of the Dreamforce under Duke. His team will be doing the healthcare, the health screening, and the LPA certification together. So number 3, the LPA certification will be done during the health screen event. It is not compulsory to do the health screen. If your client is purely coming for LPA certification, you can let them know that there's a health screen as well. Would you like to do it? So we will be having 2 registration forms. One is for health screen and one is for LPA. Am I right, Ray?
Yes, correct. So the 2 separate forms, yes.
Okay, good. Now, for all your clients who did not attend the public webinar that's going to be held in July, they can still view the LPA and AMD document, which we will give it to you all before coming for the health screen. Sorry, not the webinar. Meaning to say that if your client didn't attend a webinar, didn't attend the broadcast, but still want to come, example, people could be your own parents or your own spouse, let them view the document first and you can still come. As what Ray mentioned earlier, I'm going to sponsor the doctor certification fees because this is something that is a benefit to our consultants to let you understand the importance. Once you know the importance and you've done it, it's easier for you to also inform your clients, okay? And there will be an FAQ to be consolidated even after today. So if you have any additional questions, forward it to me, forward it to Duke. We will consolidate into a proper document. Okay, so with that, let me see. I think there's no more questions from the audience.
Sorry, I have a quick question. Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Can they come for the event to certify their mental capacity first, then after that do the OPCO application by themselves?
Unfortunately, we can't do that lah. So as what we mentioned, right, before this whole thing, we actually have like the README for the LP and AMD. So as a advisor, right, you can actually provide these links, the documents that we have for them to read up to see is this what they really want lah. But they cannot come on the spot because in terms of the whole day event, right, is really back to back. So the doctor also on site, right, as well as the White Coat representative, right, we can do to assist, but we are not there to explain to them fully in detail. Like today, like for example, what is covered in the brief introduction, what is the LPAMD? We cannot do that to them on the spot. They should know, and they as the donor, they already log in SingPass, assign the donee, and the donee must accept. Then they come down.
Okay. So if they apply already, but the donee haven't accept yet, and they come down, it still will not be able to go through lah.
We can't proceed because okay. So the thing is, if we allow that, because we actually experienced a few LPAs before. If we like allow that, right, one person you allow, then there will be a lot backlog. Because it's very difficult when we really see. I just give you a scenario lah. There was a situation where basically our team, right, our doctor, they need to backlog this person. Then they waited additional 1 hour, but it's not being charged because we are waiting for one person to reach out to the donee to let the donee accept.
Understand. Because
so we will just not proceed lah, because we have already have this agreement earlier that all of this have to be in place before that. That means the best way I would say is before the session. So let's say if the client already said 10:20 come, right? Maybe just check in with the person like 3 days before, say that is all your as a donor you already did it already, and then the donee has already accept, just ensure. So just contact them to ensure.
And can they start doing that now? Let's say the donee accept today. Is there an expiry for the mental capacity thing?
Okay, I know now it's like seems a bit early, but actually should not be an issue, because if let's say they start doing now, right, even they haven't registered the session, right, it should still be pending on the OPGO portal. So just nearing to the date, let's say like maybe around June, right, the person just go in and double check lah, just see that that time already asked the donee accept, the donee also accept. Just check this, that is this link still there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good that you can do in advance.
Can. Thank you.
This brings me to the next question. How would the doctor or White Coat know that the donee haven't accept?
So the doctor actually their own because as a registered doctor, they can see this. So they when the person come there, right? Then basically they get the details, you know, login SingPass. Then the doctor can, oh, you are the donor, you send to the donee, and then the donee has accepted. Doctor can see the full thing. Then they will have a chat with the donor, and then decide, and then they accept. Okay.
Understand. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. With that, I will now share screen for the lockout. Okay. Okay, so I think everybody can see my screen now. Okay, so this will be the attendance lockout. Can y'all please scan and exit? And with that, also thank Ray for all your time today. Tristan and Jin Xiong, you stay online. We have a discussion after this meeting. The rest of you may exit. And thanks, Ray, for all your help. Okay.
Thank you. So again, the deck, right? Just let us edit a bit lah. Then we will send this. I'll send to Winnie. Okay.
Can.
Yes.
I will send to you once the necessary parties have all done the makeup. So I think that would be better. We wait for everybody who is keen in this event and keen to bring their parents and keen to be part of it to finish the makeup first. Then once and for all, I'll send to everyone.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ray. Thank you
so
for
much.
your time.
Bye-bye,
I'll look
Winnie.
forward to see you at the health screen.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.